Welcome to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. And tonight is the 1200th episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. 1200.
1200th episode.
That breaks our previous record set on Friday. Can we do it again tomorrow? Tune in to find out. Speaking of breaking records, thanks to Omicron, the 7-day average for newly reported cases in the U.S. topped 700,000. 700,000! That's the population of Denver. And you know you're in trouble when you're higher than the people of Denver. At the current pace, the variant is set to triple the pre-Omicron record set a year ago, as you can see on this chart. Gah! That's also my EKG after someone showed me that chart. That might be just the tip of the iceberg, as Dr. Scott Gottlieb explained yesterday on The Nation Face.
We're probably only diagnosing somewhere between 1 in 5 and 1 in 10 actual infections. And there's a lot of people walking around with mild illness or asymptomatic infection who don't know it, who are spreading it.
Way to keep things optimistic, Doc. He also does motivational posters. Hang in there, because things are actually 10 times worse than you think. Some people don't want to know how many cases of Omicron are out there. Take Florida governor and man realizing that the gas station sushi was a bad idea. Ron DeSantis. DeSantis continues to oppose widespread testing, as he explained on Friday.
Think about it. Before COVID, did anyone go out and seek testing to determine if they were sick? It's usually you feel like you're sick, and then you get tested to determine what you maybe have come down with. And so this is kind of a new thing where they've been saying just go out and test all the time.
Yeah, and for that matter, did we ever buckle seatbelts before cars were invented? And why did that doctor put a camera up my butt? I'm not even on TikTok. This Omicron surge is wreaking havoc on the nation's school systems. Here in New York City, citywide attendance, which averaged close to 90% for much of the fall, has dropped to 69%. That is terrible. Think of all the kids who missed out on giggling at the number 69. Nice. So many teachers are testing positive. There's also a shortage of substitute teachers. So in Ohio, to become a substitute now, a degree is no longer required. That is shocking. Substitute teachers had degrees? I thought subs were just your regular teacher's ex-boyfriend. Okay, kids, I'm taking over for Miss Jennings today. Pop quiz. First question, does she ever talk about me? One school official summarized the new offer saying, come sub for us, make $125 a day, and get to be with students. Get to be with students, not the incentive they imagine, nor an entirely accurate description of the job, but still better than the original ad. Can you press play on a VHS of Braveheart? You're hired. The good news is that most experts out there think this steep rise in Omicron will be followed by a steep decline, right, Dr. Fauci?
I would hope, I can't predict accurately because no one can, but I would hope by the time we get to the fourth week in January, end of the third week, beginning of the fourth week, that we will start see this coming down.
Can you be more specific? That's like your horoscope reading. Capricorn, you will make a connection with a handsome stranger. Or not. Maybe he'll give you a disease. No one can predict accurately. But, sure. How are you feeling? You feeling okay? Yeah, okay. But Omicron could be over by Groundhog's Day, which would be just in time, because scientists in Cyprus have found 25 cases of a strain of the coronavirus that they say combines elements of the Delta and Omicron variants that they're calling Deltacron. Deltacron, also the name of the disappointing transformer who turns into a delayed flight for Atlanta. This, got through it. Got through it, man. Black ice. This new strain out there has Omicron-like genetic signatures with Delta genomes. Now, because it's so complicated, The scientists released a video explaining how they came by their discovery of the combination.
Delta.
Omicron. Hey, you got your Delta in my Omicron.
Got your Omicron in my Delta.
What?
What?
Infectious.
Yes, sure. I love two things. I love a woman just walking down the street with an open jar of peanut butter. Why did we never question that before? And I love the old guy who comes up behind them. Jimmy, put him up again. Hey. Hey, what's going on, you two? I got my own stuff here. I'm gonna eat. No, you keep sticking your bar in her jar right there. I'm just gonna rub your nut butter on his bar. Come on. I'm just gonna watch. No one questioned that. No one questioned that. Speaking of creepy old men, Ohio Representative Jim Jordan, seen here warning the other Neanderthals, stay in cave, tiger kill. Jordan was deeply involved in the efforts to throw out the 2020 election results, but yesterday he announced that he was refusing to cooperate with the January 6th committee investigating the Capitol riot. Turns out, after wrestling with the decision, the committee showering him with the opportunity to speak up, Jim Jordan has decided he saw nothing. Ohio State. Look it up. In a statement, Jordan explained that being asked to help get to the bottom of what happened on January 6th is far outside the bounds of any legitimate inquiry, violates core constitutional principles, and would serve to further erode legislative norms. Yes, we must not erode legislative norms. Or as one January 6th analyst put it, thank you, Senator Buffalo Nipples. But we are learning some things about the plot to overturn the election. Turns out, in December of 2020, the National Archives received fake state documents declaring the ex-president the winner. You can't put fake documents in the National Archives. Our national repository is reserved only for the Founding Fathers' secret treasure maps. Basically, a group of MAGA morons in Michigan and Arizona forged certificates to trick the National Archives into declaring their guy the winner. So they were attempting a coup via fake ID. Okay, it says here your name is Ida Realprez. Checks out, give them the nuclear codes. Now, no surprise, the National Archives saw right through the fake documents, and the MAGA fraudsters did try their best. The Arizona letter featured a state seal in an attempt to appear as if it was an official document. And it takes a skilled forger to replicate their state seal. An old man fighting a rattlesnake over an Arizona iced tea. Now, it turns out, Republicans are going crazy from sea to shining sea. Case in point, Indiana State Senator and chem teacher watching you eat that apple from across the quad, Scott Baldwin. In December, Baldwin introduced a bill that would prohibit schools from teaching a variety of concepts related to sex, race, ethnicity, religion, color, and national origin, leaving shop class and 6 hours of dodgeball. Baldwin's bill has been getting a lot of blowback for not letting teachers teach. So the state Senate had a hearing last week where a high school teacher explained why educators can't always be neutral.
It's second semester of U.S. history, so we're learning about the rise of fascism and the rise of Nazism right now. And I'm just not neutral on the political ideology of fascism. We're not neutral on Nazism. We take a stand in the classroom against it, and it matters that we do.
I'm not discrediting as a person Marxism, Nazism, fascism. I'm not discrediting any of those isms out there. And I have no problem with the education system providing instruction on the existence of those isms. I believe that we've gone too far when we take a position on those isms as it relates to we need to be impartial.
So he's saying we should reserve... You were a little late. Now, he's saying we should reserve judgment about the Nazis, just like they do in the classic scene.
Don't shoot! Let's hear the Nazis out!
Turns out, I'm surprised Hanks did that part. Turns out, not discrediting Nazis, not the most popular opinion in Indiana, so Baldwin released this statement. Nazism, Marxism, and fascism are a stain on our world history and should be regarded as such, and I failed to adequately articulate that in my comments. Failed to adequately articulate is a pretty generous way of describing I said the exact opposite. Kind of like when Sir Mix-a-Lot released a statement saying, when I said that I like big butts and I cannot lie, I failed to articulate that I'm actually more of a boob guy. We've got a great show for you tonight. My guests are Gayle King and Tig Notaro, but when we come back, you still can't get a PS5, but cows have VR goggles. Stick around.